Hey, have you ever wondered what it's like to be a truck driver in Europe? I got a chance to talk to one of those guys, and I want to share that with you. My name is Kevin. I'm a solo driver with CRETE Carrier, and you're watching The Joy of Trucking. So we were over in Germany, and we stopped off at a truck stop and looked at some cool trucks and the rest stop and all that, and we've got some other videos on that. You should check that out. And a lot of our comments on those videos are, why didn't you talk to a driver over there? So here's the deal. It was a Sunday in the afternoon, and we walked around and around that parking lot, and only one driver actually spoke to us. So I think the rest of them were asleep. I didn't want to go knocking on doors, waking people up. But this one guy did take the time to talk to us, and it was very interesting. He's been a driver for like 20 years. He did not want to be on camera, and he doesn't want his name mentioned because he's a company driver, so he didn't want to get in trouble with the company. But I can tell you about our conversation, and it sparked a lot of interest. I looked up some other stuff I want to share with you too about what their drivers do over there. Now, he's from Lithuania, but he drives for a company in Germany. So he's out for 6 weeks at a time, right? And then he parks his truck and he goes home for 2 weeks. It's 1,300 kilometers to his home. So he gets in his car and drives 800 miles after being on the road for 6 weeks. The reason for that is the pay is a little bit higher in Germany. So he says he's making around 3,000 euros a month. And by comparison, he thinks that truck drivers in America make like 10,000 a month, so he's eager to come over to the USA and try driving here someday. I looked up some stats though. The average for truck drivers in Germany is about 2,900 euros a month, and in the US it's more like 6,000, between 6,000 and 7,000 a month. 10,000, yeah, but you got to be pretty specialized for that. Still better than what they're making in Europe. If you consider the euro and the dollar are pretty close right now, that gives you an idea. Also, he's driving a reefer, okay? And at the time he was hauling a load of bananas. And he told me he loaded the trailer himself. He gets a lot of loads that are driver load and unload. And what happened was he picked up this load on a Friday and was taking it into Frankfurt, and the consignee told him, we don't have room for the bananas right now, come back Monday. So he's got to sit on the load for the whole weekend. So he went to the truck stop and he was there Saturday and Sunday, right? Monday he was going to turn around and go back and make the delivery. But he did have enough fuel in the reefer tank to last the whole waiting time. And I found out that the reefer tanks are 200 liters, about 53 gallons. Sound familiar? So a few other things about life as a truck driver there in Germany. He does cook on the truck, so he's not eating in the truck stop or at restaurants all the time, eating up his hard-earned pay, which is what we do too. We cook on the truck a lot of the time. So he's got a little gas burner that he uses. I could not go into any of the trucks, even his, to see what the layout is, you know, how much room you have, where you'd cook, or how much refrigeration's available, nothing like that. So I'll leave that for another visit. But he said it's really hard to find parking every night. The truck stops are all full by 6 p.m. Sound familiar? Not always pre-planned for the next load. So sometimes he'll make a delivery and have to sit there and wait for dispatch to get him the next run. He uses the TomTom for navigation, like the GPS device. It says it's better in Europe than what we use over here. A lot of the trucks now in Europe are automated manual transmissions, like all the fleets here are doing. Trucks are also equipped with lane deviation warning, blind spot warnings, the adaptive cruise control, just like all our trucks have here. Really good safety devices. A lot of the trucks over there, though, come with a V8. Most of our trucks here are an inline 6 diesel engine. Getting your CDL over in Europe involves a written and a practical test, just like here. The course could be from 1 to 4 months, and average price is around 4,000 euros. But the course includes first aid training and CPR training, and your physical, like your DOT physical over here, includes a mental health certificate. So it's not just whether you can see, stand on one leg, cough, you know, all that stuff. There's also a little mental health involved with their certification. And there's also an ophthalmologist certificate for your eyesight. The process, though, can take up to 5 weeks at local offices for them to process all your paperwork and finish it and finally give you your CDL. So it's a little slow on that end. Another interesting statistic, the EU, Norway, and the United Kingdom are short about 233,000 drivers. So you thought there was a driver shortage here. Wow. Projected in 2028 to be 745,000 drivers they'll be short. The shortage is affecting the expansion of trucking companies because they have the freight out there, and they could all grow. If they had enough drivers, they'd buy more trucks and put them on the road right away. Don't have enough trucks, and it's affecting manufacturing. They can't get the goods to the factory. They can't get the finished goods out of the factory fast enough. So it's affecting the whole economy. Also, only 4% of truck drivers in Europe are women, as opposed to 12% in the USA. Addressing the driver shortage problem, in France, Spain, and Italy, they offer courses in transportation at the secondary school level. So in high school, they're already telling people, hey, you could be a truck driver, and here's some courses that'll help you out. So we might see a lot more drivers coming out of those countries in the future. But I think the biggest incentive would be the pay, right? Only getting $3,000 a month, and we're getting twice that here. No wonder. I mean, there's a lot of hardship involved with driving a truck over the road. Long time away from home, spending the night in your truck every night, trying to find a place to stay, the food, all of that. Maybe they should throw some more money at the drivers. All right, now, if you're wondering about hours of service, here's the rules over there in Europe. You can drive only 9 hours a day. Twice a week, you can make an exception and go to 10 hours, okay? You can drive up to 56 hours maximum in a week, but over a 2-week period, 90 hours maximum time. Your daily rest period is 11 hours, and it can be split into 3 hours and 9 hours, making a total of 12 for those exceptions. Your weekly rest time is 45 continuous hours after 6 days of work, and that can be reduced to 24 hours of rest every 2 weeks. Did you get all that? One thing I noticed though, they didn't say anything about your daily hours of work. Like we have 14 hours of daily time that we can actually work, and 11 hours of that can be driving time. So there's no mention of that 14-hour maximum that I found. Now your driving time can be extended up to 2 hours to reach home or your employer's presence for your weekly rest period. So if you're running late and you got to take a ferry or something to get where you're going or whatever, they will allow you an extra 2 hours if you're going home for your weekly rest. So I see no mention of our 14-hour daily maximum hours of work, only 9 hours driving time and 11 hours rest. So theoretically that means a 13-hour workday, except for all those exceptions and splits that were aforementioned. Now, on another topic, on one of our previous videos, we looked at some trucks and we looked at some trailers. And we really want to thank all those people that replied to those videos and gave me all that good information and answered those questions that are running around in my head all this time. We appreciate your comments. So I wanted to bring a few of those comments to light because it corrected some bloopers I made, and I want to set the record straight. So on the tractor I was looking at, there was a black pipe behind the sleeper that went up, and I thought that might be the exhaust. And actually it's the air intake. So that's the clean air coming into the engine, and that way it's not sucking air from down close to the dirty street, right? And at the bottom of that pipe was a tank, so that's where your air filter is. And that explains why it was so clean, right? So apparently the exhaust is coming out in the frame of the truck down between the fuel tanks, kind of like on my Kenworth. They call it a grass burner. Now I stated the axle weights were 10 tons on those trailers, right? But it's metric tons. So a 10-ton axle weight is 22,000 pounds. So that actually means they can carry a lot more freight. In the UK, the limit is 96,800 pounds with 6 axles, 89,000 pounds with 5 axles. In Italy, they allow 96,800 pounds with only 5 axles. So some of them carry a lot more weight than our trucks. The round green sticker that we saw on the front of some of those trucks, that allows the trucks to go in restricted areas as defined by that letter inside the green sticker. So the L is showing that it's a low noise truck. And in a lot of areas you can't go through with a loud truck, especially at night. So the L gives you permission because it's a very quiet truck. And the V and the VI is talking about the emissions, Euro 5 and Euro 6 emissions. That rail on the side of the trailer in front of the axles, that is to prevent cycles, bikes, whatever, from sliding underneath the trailer and getting caught in there. That would be really bad. The soft side trailer, we saw a lot of trailers with soft sides, right? Like a cloth or something. So it's basically like a flatbed, and there are tie downs inside that curtain, and then the curtain itself ties down. So we have Conestoga trailers, same idea, but it's like the whole thing. Those trailers have like a hard top. So they do a lot of side loading, street loading, instead of dock loading there. So that allows them to get stuff on and off the truck pretty easy. But a lot of those trucks actually have a folding or retractable roof. That hard roof will move out of the way so you can load freight with a crane from above. That was good information. And some of those 3 axles on the trailers can actually steer. So I got to take another look at that next time I'm over there. I'm going to crawl under one of those puppies there and see if I can figure that out. Anyway, like I said, next time we're back there, we'll hit another truck stop and see if we can talk to more drivers. All right. I hope you liked this video. Give us a thumbs up. I want to see some more comments about all this information, and hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you down the road. Bye for now.